What's going on out there, Junkies? It's Kenshiro. We're back with Culture Junkies Live, the weekly geek talk show of all the stuff that you love to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about the brand new Black Lightning show, which hopefully you're watching us and not that you DVR'd and you're watching it later because it's on right now. But it's been getting really rave reviews and everybody wants to talk about it, so let's take our chance to talk about it as well. And joining me on the show, Meow Yin, how are you? How are you, darling?
Heidi ho, neighborinos. I'm doing well.
Good, good. Happy 2018 to you as well. Super Nerd Plus, I saw you. What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
I'm glad you took off that tie and got geek centric and right for the show.
Absolutely.
You got your libations ready too?
Coaster.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Coaster.
Look at that. Look at that. Fallen Marvel, what's going on with you, bro?
I'm doing all right, Hope everybody else been doing really good. So
yeah, rocking that Wakanda hat. I appreciate it.
Of course.
The great Dadakuji is also joining us.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to change my name now this year to Old Man Dido.
And it fits with the greatness and the beard and everything. It looks dapper to me, man.
Get those games out my face. No.
The last and certainly not least is the dapper one, GQ. What's up, bro?
Not too much, man. Old Man Dido, huh? So you just transcended and gonna just call you Logan now, huh?
You're gonna be Digan or Dogan. I don't know. Whatever. Something.
It doesn't exactly roll. Right off the tongue, I have to tell you that it does not roll.
It can't be straight up Wolverine.
Yeah, not an easy one to say, Dido. We'll work on it.
Okay, you can just keep where Dido Fuji.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the fix and give you some news that you need to know and talk about some stuff that you really want to know about. And one of the things that's coming out this week is Mutant League Football. Who remembers Mutant League Football back on the old Sega Genesis days?
I do.
I definitely do.
I remember it. It was cool.
Yeah, what made it?
This is the same Mutant League that had a cartoon show, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page, but yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. Well, Mutant League Football is back. It's this is not made by EA. It's actually it was a Kickstarter, and it's actually been out for a few months on PC, but it's now on consoles, and it just debuted today. What were some of your favorite memories of Mutant League Football? Because this one is actually a little bit different. It plays a little bit more like NFL Blitz, with zombies and robots and orcs and stuff like that. What do you remember about Mutant League Football?
Them damn mutants.
Yeah, the damn mutants. I played it for a little bit, but then again, sports games were never my forte. And it was back in the day. It was just Madden with a different skin and different field because they had field hazards and stuff like that. So I'm just, it's cool that it's out. I mean, it sucks that EA didn't do it because that's the only way. I shouldn't say the only way. People are probably going to buy it, but most people are not going to even see it or think about it because, as you know, when EA makes a video game, it's everywhere because that's what EA does. They make sure it's in your face and all the downloadable content. You can pay for it. The game costs you $2,000, and then everybody buys it, and it'll be great. So,
hey, you know what? I know something better than that. They need to bring back Arch Rivals. Remember that? We used to knock the shit out of people when you.
Yo, Arch Rivals was fun as hell, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I will be more excited for a comeback of that than Mutant League.
I think Arch Rivals was the precursor to NBA Jam. I did hear that the NBA Jam might get rebooted again. I saw a video on that today, and I was just like,
didn't it just have a reboot?
Yeah, a few years ago, because EA did pick up the license for that, which is amazing. Why would they pick up the license for that and not Mutant League Football? But EA owns NBA Jam now, and if you are one of the people who have a Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, I think even the Wii had NBA Jam on it, and I think I got mine for PlayStation. No, yeah, I think it's PlayStation 3. I got a copy.
Well, yeah, I remember they made it a free download for PS Plus.
That's how I got it. Yeah.
Same here, because the thing is, I'm getting tired of them rebooting all these reboots. It's like, look, if you reboot it, that means that you sat down and you took the time to reimagine it and, you know, maybe bring some of the old back and then redo it. So that if you have to reboot it again, that means that you weren't trying the first time, or maybe you should just leave it alone and because you can't reboot it. So that's how I look at it.
Well, the other game that's coming out,
you're going to reboot it again.
Right. Well, the other game that's coming out today is Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. We talked about this previously. The return of Street Fighter. Well, actually, can we call this the Street Fighter Complete Edition? Street Fighter V Complete Edition?
No, it's actually complete when it comes to Street Fighter.
Right, because the first thing it does is it starts off Season 3, so it's like, it doesn't matter. I look at it this way. The original release was for the people that wanted to get in and get more experience than the people that are going to end up buying Arcade Edition and starting it off that way. It's the exact same thing that Capcom has done years and years and years. It's like, if you didn't play Street Fighter II World Warrior and you jumped in with Super Street Fighter with Cammy and T-Hawk and all of them, people that started with World Warrior were going to whip your ass because they have been playing the game for the last, 3 years or whatever, or 4 years. So, I mean, that's just how it is. So, I mean, this is, yes, there's more content. Yes, there's more single player stuff to do. But at the end of the day, it's like the one that came out is for the hardcore players that wanted to get a jump on it and play, all the characters that were available. This is the one for the people that wanted to wait for more content. That's how I look at it. Because either way it goes, it's a free update for me.
I wish I had waited to be the latter, because I was the one that jumped on it initially and just...
I'm the same here, man, because I didn't download any characters from I bought Street Fighter V when it came out. I don't have any of the new characters. I don't have any of that fight money because, unlike a lot of our friends who play fighting games like No Tomorrow, they'll hop online and just play. I want to hop online and play, but it's just something missing. It's like a piece to the puzzle. You play fighting games. I did growing up, arcade and sitting next to somebody on a couch, and then playing online, it just feels like you're playing a computer, and it just doesn't feel the same. But all those people who get online and play, more power to them. I just wish I had that mentality.
That's what local fight nights are for.
Yeah, and we need to do more of them.
Yeah, we do.
My little brother wanted to jump back into Street Fighter V with all this coming out. So I'm like, I was like, kind of, he had initially fell out of it, but he wanted to get back in it because of the extra stuff that's coming out, I guess. But I know, as far as me, I'm just waiting for Dragon Ball FighterZ at this point.
Hell, man, one more week. Next week.
And even more so than that, it's I'm actually looking forward to playing with Street Fighter. Not Street Fighter. Fighting EX layer when that comes out.
Now that one actually, a lot of people are saying that isn't quite as good as it looks. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, old man Dido? Isn't that what they were saying? I heard.
Well, I did hear that from one person. They should have. They got to test that beta a little bit more because it is in beta, and we did get that free download to test it out. And when I first started playing it, I'm like, why can't I do any of these moves? What's the heck is going on? Because I didn't take the time to read anything. Because I, like most men, you don't read anything. It was set to some stupid new mode where all the moves were 2 button presses, like you're playing on a friggin' GameCube or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then when I switched it to the actual, classic style, I think they called it, and I was able to okay, this is okay. But it to me, it seemed like it played like friggin' it didn't play like Street Fighter V. It played like Street Fighter EX. And if anybody played a lot of Street Fighter, I played a shit ton of Street Fighter EX1 was the first game for PlayStation I bought with my very own money. So I played the hell out of Street Fighter EX, and it played like Street Fighter EX to me. Maybe they could have tweaked the engine a little bit more because the graphics were great. If the gameplay, gets tweaked a little bit more, then you might have a winner on your hands. But it's going to be for those people who like Street Fighter EX. And to tell you the truth, I haven't heard too many people really talk about Street Fighter EX. It's just one of those games that either you played it or you didn't. And most hardcore Street Fighter players, from my experience, they played it, but they stuck to, at the time, was like Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Super Turbo and, even Street Fighter 3. They weren't really, playing too much EX. So maybe to find its way, I can't really say too much, but I do know my buddy, Mr. GQ over there, says they could have kept that.
Yeah, they got more work to do on that game. I mean, the April Fool's release that they showed made it look a heck of a lot more polished than the beta that they made available for download over the demo. So yeah, they should have held off on that.
I'm thinking they probably have to like polish that like for the 4K upscale, because I noticed a difference between people that were playing in 1080p versus 4K, and the characters look blurry in 4K. So that's something they need to fix as far as the aesthetic point. But yeah.
Well, you know what? Who else is getting, well, not necessarily blurry, but who's getting salty is, well, there's some people all up in their feels about this Black Panther movie, and let me set the stage for you, because Black Panther, you know, the advanced tickets went on sale about almost a week and a half ago, and it's doing gangbusters. Like, it's outselling pre-ticket sales of any Marvel movie that has ever come before it. It's like doing better than anything, and there's quite a few people that I saw on Facebook that are a little bit salty about that. Now, why exactly do we feel like they might be salty? Anybody take a guess? Anybody?
I can. Even though I am the least melanated of all of them, I'm still black. I am. Out of our group right here, but it's because certain people have in their mind, if you have a chemical in your skin that protects you from the sun, that makes you different or something of the sort. So they think it just has to do because the character is Black Panther and he's black and is got a majority black cast, and it's for the out of all the MCU movies that it's the highest sold pre-sales out of any MCU movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing it. It's because first off, it's Black Panther, which you know he's cool as shit. And even a lot of our lesser melanated people on this planet know that it's a cool ass character.
Right.
It's part of the MCU. Now, I agree with Chris Evans. Some of you guys out there may not, but I agree with Chris Evans that, you know, right now MCU hasn't had a hit. You can have your opinions about certain movies not being good and all that stuff, but they've made their money. Period. So to the executives, to a lot of people, they all have been hits. Every single one of them has been a hit. And this one is included, and the next one is going to be the same thing, because I'm pretty sure Infinity War is going to do these
Infinity
numbers.
War is going, Infinity War is going to kill this.
We've been building up to that from Iron Man 1. Once we find out they're making a cinematic universe, that's what we've been building up to. So it's just close.
Fast forward 10 years later, here we are.
Right. Absolutely.
I think as far as the hate go, it's, you know, non-nerd people who know nothing about Black Panther.
No. These were actual nerds.
Really?
There was another show. There was a show just like ours. Unfortunately,
Okay.
there was a show just well, I don't want to say just like ours. It was similar to ours, but it was hosted by people that were devoid of chocolate in their skin, and all three of them were talking about, oh, we shouldn't be hyped about this movie. You shouldn't be paying your money ahead of time. You should wait and hear from a friend, you know, whether it's good or not. Like, what? Yeah, like for real. Yeah, no, real. They were really saying this kind of stuff, man. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Really interesting. It informed me because the people I've been reading are like non-nerd people that were saying it wasn't going to be good.
Oh,
because
I'm sure there's plenty of them
aesthetics, right? The aesthetics of being a black character and being the king, and like I don't pay attention to those people. Number one, because you know shit about Black Panther. Number one, and number two, you know nothing about comic books and what Black Panther contributed to the MCU. A lot of things you don't even realize came from Black Panther.
Yeah,
facts.
And it's just funny that they bring up the whole thing where you shouldn't pre-order the tickets and contribute.
I couldn't believe I heard that.
It's like, bruh, so what? Why weren't you complaining when we was pre-ordering tickets when Civil War dropped the previous year, back in 2016? So it's like I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
man. Wait a minute. Why has Miao Yin been so quiet? This is a bit scary.
Yeah, she should be speaking up a little bit more. What's up,
I
Bert?
mean, I'm just listening to everyone else have their say, but you know, before I get all profane and belligerent,
Go ahead.
in my opinion, these one guy out of the other ones had one point that was better than the rest of them, and it's people pre-order stuff because they like it, because they're excited about it, because it's something that they're very interested in and they can't wait for. So all the other nonsense that they tried to say about it, it was utter nonsense. And I will say that, you know, at the end of the day, the lion themselves with the opinion of the sheep, and that's what they are, because their opinion were the
say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats.
The lion does not concern herself with the opinion of the sheep, because they had no strong point other than, well, maybe this shouldn't be happening for this movie. Out of here, man. Whatever. Like,
right.
It was utter nonsense.
Yeah, and it just blew my mind just hearing that now. Like, these people are ridiculous. Now, hypothetically, let's just say, when they bring over the X-Men and Fantastic Four and yada yada yada, and we all know this, who read the comic books, Black Panther had a contingency plan to take out Galactus. If and so that ever was to happen, I'm sure it's gonna be an uproar. Oh, no black man can do that.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
fucking
you know that's
Black Panther, the most advanced technological country within the country. Come on now, Wakanda. Don't be stupid.
And see, I don't understand why. I don't understand why people are getting, like, certain sections of people are getting upset, because, man, when they first hyped Black Panther, when I was in the movie theater and he got shown on the screen, like, there was so many white boys jumping out their seat. You know, saying like, "Oh my God!" Like, "Oh, it's the Black Panther. That's gonna be it's gonna be sweet." Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
But those are real comic book fans. They're not haters. Those guys are they're haters. Like, they had like, again, I think they had no solid point. Like, you know, I talk crap all the time about Marvel, about DC, all of them. But at the end of the day, I know, like, the fans who like it, they're gonna go hard for it, and people are going hard for Black Panther. For several reasons. You have your seasoned fans who are just excited about it. Black, white, Asian, whatever. They're just excited about it because they're a fan of it.
Absolutely.
Then you have Black people and, even other brown people just excited to see something different, to see something that they might be able to relate to. So, like, the hate is so real, because, like, if you're mad because Black Panther is a black man, I'm like, come on, you got Bruce, you got Superman, you got Wolverine, you got everybody else. Chill out.
Yeah, it ain't never enough. It ain't never enough for them type of people.
The real problem is
never enough.
The real problem is the fact that Black Panther shatters the stereotype, and it does it, and it does it in such a commanding way that it's a threat. It's a big time threat to a lot of people, because it's a narrative that is the exact opposite of what people have been trying to indoctrinate as, oh, black people are thugs, or they're uneducated, or, a whole bunch of different, stereotypes. And it's like, this one is like, oh, every single stereotype you have, throw that in the garbage, because this guy is a king. He's extremely intelligent. He's rich beyond rich. His entire country is well more advanced than anything the United States has. So he's like, he's beyond Tony Stark. That's what is so. I mean, it's basically it's kind of like, it's a threat, and it's like, okay, you haven't had anything in cinema that is this. I'm hearing myself somehow. Somebody's got to mute something. It's like you haven't had anything this positive as far as representation of black people in cinema since Coming to America. Because if you really think about it, and we talked about it last time, Coming to America was the last time that you showed black people,
prosperous
especially
black
in
people,
in African nation, that was just well beyond wealth, and it was just like, dude, okay, wow. So this is going to bring that back, and that's threatening to a lot of people.
And the crazy part is, like, a little small story I'm gonna tell you. Megashawn, he always been a Batman fan. So when I said, hey, there's a guy out there way better than Batman, and he's black. He said, "Get the fuck out of here! You're lying to me." Because we know Megatron doesn't read comic books like that, but he reads some here and there, you know. So when I told him that, me and Waffles told him that he couldn't believe that what I said was true, and then I said, "Pick up this book and read it." Blew his mind. Been a fan ever since. Could have been the Black Panther, but you know. Could have been. Got the muscles, got the
timing. Maybe he'll be there for the reboot. Maybe he'll be there for the reboot.
But what I'm saying is, like GQ said, a man of that stature with that much power and that elegance is gonna be appealing. I'm reading comments, people talking about they wearing dashikis and this, that, and the third. Like, to see that something is monumental to see every black person getting excited for movies that are not non-comic book readers. My brother don't even go to movies like that, but when he saw the trailer, he bought a ticket. I talked to him a couple of days ago. He said, "I'm buying a ticket. I bought it early." I was like, "Damn, you don't even go to the movies like that."
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the appeal of a movie like the Black Panther, because it can talk to a lot of people that are not comic book fans that might be able to bring them in. And honestly, like we always say, representation matters. It really does. You can't sell it short. There's enough comic book material out there for everybody. It shouldn't just be just for one certain segment. It really should touch everybody, and I think that's what it does. That's what anime does really well too. But anyway, let's segue to another black superhero that actually made its premiere today, and that's Black Lightning. Black Lightning is on the CW network right now, and the reviews for the show came out few weeks ago. Actually, our good friend Eric Joseph, who works for We Got This Cover, had the privilege of actually watching the first couple of episodes, and he loved it. He thought it was really good. He thought it was really well done. He thought it was one of the better CW shows that is probably going to be on the TV right now, and it's getting rave reviews, even from the aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes. Most of the critics, it's got 100% Rotten Tomato score, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, it's got a 100% Rotten Tomato score, which is actually that astounded me. And I actually wanted to read
very interesting.
Yeah, I actually wanted to read an excerpt of one of the reviews from Entertainment Weekly. It said, this is what they said about it, and they gave it an A-. They said, Black Lightning has found a way to make the typical superhero origin story already depicted endlessly on television shows and movies fresh. And it did that by bypassing the origin altogether. You don't even know, in the pilot, you don't even learn how he got his powers or anything like that. You don't get a scene where a monster kills his family and he's swearing revenge, and all of that. It's like a fresh breath. It's like a breath of fresh air. But, it's also... It does a very good. It speaks to a lot of people, and it's very relevant because of the times we're going through today. We still have some racial oppression. If you're black in this country, and it's very timely. It's a superhero movie, and what makes it even better is that this is a black man, and he's all about his family. And you don't necessarily see that enough in popular media today. Comments?
I think that's awesome. I don't know much about Black Lightning, just a few things I've seen in like cartoon aspects, and I dug him as a cartoon character, not from like Super Friends. I've seen him a few times. Well, he was in Static Shock a few times.
Please don't use Super Friends, Black Vulcan as your reference point.
No, not a reference point, but I was like, I've seen a few times Justice League. I remember. Like I said, I don't know much about the character because. I'm not a huge DC fan, only certain things with DC, but anytime I see a black character that's with power and just doing things, I'm all for it. And I'm not what I guess hearing that it was to get the reviews one, I want to check it out. At first I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, I don't want to be this cheesy show, black superhero, da 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 da. I wanted to actually mean something, and hearing reviews is one thing, but I need to see it myself so I can make my own judgment. Right. I want it to be good, definitely, because like you know me from the past. Like I'm not a big fan of the DC shows because some of the characters are kind of cheesy. I should say. I want this character to be that character I can feel, even though I know nothing about this character, because I know about the Flash, I know about these characters, and it's like because I do know about some DC characters, but I want this character to be something. Okay, damn, that's how Black Lightning is. This is how this character is. Okay, I'm digging it. I want to check it. I want to see more.
Miao Yin, it's something that'll actually appeal probably to you as well. Is that the females in the show, like his daughters, also have powers, but they're learning to discover them as it goes on. But as far as like the way the elder sister Anissa, she represents she's queer. She's a black lesbian, and that's they don't really show that a lot on popular media. And they don't necessarily really present that on national TV and primetime TV. So speak to something about what that kind of means as far as the representation angle. She's black, she's also lesbian.
Well, I think that the show itself is innovative in that sense, that it's representing something different, and it's on the channel that brought us Dawson's Creek, for goodness sake. So you got to think about how the network is that it's being shown on, and then how it's going from there. And I mean, I would honestly say it's something. So yeah, having the daughter be lesbian and stuff like that in this time is good. A lot of network shows are starting to do more things like that. But the fact that you just have a single father, well, I don't know. Are they doing the single father part? I don't know. I don't really know what angle they're going for the show, but obviously it's this man raising his daughters, and you don't see a lot of stuff like that. Usually on primetime TV, you see a family show. You don't see a lot of single parents, and that is something that's really prominent, whether it's black, white, or whatever. That's a lot of households in America, so that's going to catch something as well. Having two developing young superheroes that he's raising in the midst of this bad part of town, apparently, because this is what it's. I know he's from what I know about Black Lightning, he's in Metropolis.
He's in Metropolis.
The bad part of Metropolis, the part that nobody speaks about, kind of thing.
Right. Now, I don't think he's going to actually end up being in Metropolis in the TV show. They'll probably just transplant him somewhere else. I don't think. Okay. They don't want no aspersions of saying, "Oh, well, where's Superman at?" No, you don't want to be bothered with that. But Dido,
everywhere.
He's on the south side of Metropolis. That's where Superman don't go. Superman's scared to go there.
The south side of Metropolis. All right, Dido, I wanted to get you in on this, because this actually, speaks to it. Balances Black Lightning supposedly balances, humor and social commentary. Because Black Lightning actually gets pulled over by a cop in the rain, and gets yanked out of the car, and guns pointed at him and his daughters, because they're looking for a suspect that by the only description is a black man. It is a black man, like literally. That's all the cop says. We heard that the suspect is a black man. And then they're also saying that the review brought up the important things, like why are white masked crime fighters called heroes, but Black Lightning is called a vigilante. I think they actually even touched on that in the show. So,
well, I mean, we're saying that they do call Batman a vigilante too. So, I don't know if he's called a hero or not. But regardless of that, I think it's kind of cool that they're going to be showing a TV show that might show a little bit of realism, and I hope it makes some people uncomfortable enough to think. Granted, it's a TV show, it's a hero show, it's supposed to entertain you, it's not supposed to make you feel like shit. But I just hope it, it can bring some kind of awareness to people, and hopefully they'll look at it like, what, everybody is everybody. All the people is just, I have more chemical in my skin to protect me from the sun, and they'll think that this person is not just because they're black, they're gonna, you know, they're a bad guy or they deserve to be treated a certain way. I'm not really too sure about Black Lightning. I know nothing about the comic book. I know nothing about the TV series, but I will give it a shot. I most definitely will watch it because, you know, I like watching the DC TV shows because unlike the Marvel TV shows, besides Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I absolutely love, DC's been killing it to me. So why not kill this too? And I don't mean kill it in a bad way. I mean kill it in a good way.
Of course you do.
They got to win something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
they certainly ain't winning in the movies.
Oh,
but you know, let's not keep bringing that up. Right. What's your thoughts on that Fallen Marvel?
Based on what everyone is saying, I do like that commentary as far as him being a black superhero but being labeled a vigilante, and because that's something they really don't address very much, like with the other shows. I mean, granted, from what I've seen, like based on like if you're like a Caucasian good guy, I mean, you're basically a hero up until you basically leave bodies behind, a la Oliver Queen. So he's already being, because of that, he's essentially being labeled a vigilante, and everybody else that's associated with him are vigilantes by proxy. But you look on the flip side of that, you look at the Flash hero, you know, like, you know, the unassuming, you know, slender white guy in a red outfit. It's like, okay, nobody thinks this guy is dangerous, you know.
Shit, they can't even see him.
I mean, you can't, but I mean, they know he's existing. Like, nobody's thinking like, okay, he really running fast. Like, can this dude, like, it's like, because you're not, like, no one's like really thinking about that. You can't even see this guy commit crimes yet. Like, he can literally get away with anything if he wanted to.
Marvel, you know why? You know why? Because by the time they realize it, Barry goes and reverses time and messes up the timeline. Because that's how they end every season on that show.
Right.
Well, hopefully they don't go that route this time. But
I'm getting tired of that.
But I mean, as it pertains to Black Lightning, I do like that they are showing that commentary and finding a balance between being serious and probably adding like maybe like using humor as a coping mechanism to like all the, you know, the prejudice shit and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I like Super Nerd. I'm not that familiar with Black Lightning other than the show that shall not be named, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. And plus, I mean, I find it interesting that apparently that Scooter from Living Single moved up.
Bro, I said the same thing. That's what I was skeptical about. That's what I was skeptical about. I said my man's from Living Single. I said, okay.
Why are you talking about him? A good actor.
Which, by the way, I have been watching on Hulu, so I'll just leave it at that.
Here's the thing, though. I'm on my Megatron shit right now. I saw the trailer of Black Lightning. I'm like, this brother not in shape. Come on, brother. You gotta be that.
Really?
I'm saying I was on my Megatron shit for a little bit. I'm saying, like, brother, get in shape. He was running. I said, oh, come on, Jack. Don't do that to me, player. He was out of shape. I'm just saying he was out of shape. Come on, she gotta. If you
telling me that all superheroes got to be in shape because they're drawn that way. You got superpowers. Hey, Marcus, I'm gonna tell you something. Both you and I, say this wrong way. We both out of shape. We both out of shape. You tell me you got superpowers. Yeah, that don't make you non-super. You going around. You got Superman powers, man. You bouncing fucking bullets off your belly, like whatever.
I'll be the worst superhero ever. I'm like, hold on, don't do that shit. I swear, don't do that.
You be Hancock, basically, right?
Go bounce off.
You be Hancock, right? You gonna be Hancock, basically, then, right?
Basically, I'll be Hancock. He still ruined that movie for me, but whatever.
Hand job.
Wow, really, son?
Remember?
Hand job?
No, remember that's what Mike X called him.
Bro, I'm sorry. That part was hilarious to me.
That part was hilarious, dog. Kept calling him hand job. I was like, dog, are you for real? Kept calling him hand job. I was like, dog, man, you won't get jacked up, don't you?
That's
To me, that's an underrated one to me. I'm sorry, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, that movie was really good.
I enjoyed that
I liked
movie.
it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
It should have been better with somebody else. But
Despite Will Smith. Despite Will Smith, I like
Whatever.
Hold on,
He was
hold
not
on.
that bad in that movie.
Wait. Who could have done it better than Will Smith?
You know what?
That is a good question.
For that movie,
Kevin Hart.
No, actually, that wouldn't have been that actually would have been a good idea. That would have been a good idea though.
Then Kevin Hart is worse. Let's not do that.
No. It would have been even better because he would have been short as hell.
Hell no.
He'd have been drunk as hell. He'd have been high. Come on,
nobody knew who Kevin Hart was.
And that's why it would have been good. It would have been perfect.
No. Nobody would have seen that movie.
Not for them parts that needed to be serious. There's no way you could take Kevin Hart seriously like in those moments, dude. It's like
because that's always been Kevin Hart's problem.
Right.
Kevin Hart's because Kevin Hart cannot help being Kevin Hart. And that's kind of the issue. And that's why he's so easy to typecast, because it's like he is a little small dude that always acts the same. Like, for example, they had that movie, what was it? God, what was that one that he did? They did a sequel to it, and he was a supporting character in the first one, and they made him the main character in the sequel. It was like Best Man,
yeah,
like that, or somewhere.
Oh, the Best Man.
Yeah, it was.
No. It was what was that? That off of that Steve Harvey book, right?
Steve Harvey, the Steve Harvey.
How to Think Like a Man.
Right.
Exactly. Think Like a Man.
Yeah, Think Like a Man 2, they made him basically the main character. Like all of the action and everything revolved around him, and it just made the movie 10 times more boring than it already was. It's just like, okay, now we just got to follow him and watch him act a fool for the whole 2 hours or whatever. And it's just like, y'all could have actually told an interesting story if you didn't try to make every single scene about how Kevin Hart's going to mess up, this or mess up that. And it's just like, okay, this is dumb. So yeah, Kevin Hart as Hancock wouldn't have worked. I'm sorry. It would have been visually funny, but no. Will Smith did a good job at that.
That's why I was no Kevin Hart.
No, we get it. I know, I get the joke. I'm just saying, just in general. Just Kevin Hart is like, unfortunately, he's.
Simon says Idris Elba would have done Hancock better. Oh God,
man, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that, man.
Idris would have been too serious, man. I can't even imagine Idris drunk. Like even in that movie, The Losers, like Idris was like he was belligerent, but he wasn't like a drunk like a-hole.
Right.
No, that would have been.
It's like he's too charming. He's too charming. It's like you can't even imagine him being like acting like Hancock.
It would have been a drunk Luther, which that would have been a crazy ass movie.
Ooh, Luther.
And wait, but isn't Luther kind of drunk like half the time anyway?
He's just angry.
He's not drunk. He's
not drunk. Yeah, he's just a angry person, and he's passionate about things, but sometimes anger can get the best of him.
They did have one episode where he was drinking or whatever. That's the episode that I think it was a crazy ass episode. So no. That would have been a movie for the United States. No.
Hey, Anthony Minton said Samuel Jackson should have played Hancock. Hold on. Anthony Minton just said Samuel Jackson should have played Hancock. Now that would have been a fucking movie.
Oh man. Oh, can you imagine?
Like only if he had the same personality he had from his character in the other guys.
Yeah.
Oh my no.
That would be funny.
You be fun, don't you?
Yeah, Sam Jackson as Hancock would be funny.
All right, that would have been kind of funny. I'll grant you that. That might have been pretty funny. I'll buy that for $1. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Take it back.
I'm sorry. All right, so hey, so if y'all didn't know, we actually did. We've been doing this movie challenge, right? Where we watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies every week leading up to Infinity War, and last week we watched Iron Man 2 on Sunday. So let's revisit what did we. There was a lot to like about Iron Man 2, but it's not fondly remembered. Why was it not finally remembered? I think they said because it was kind of weak on the story. Whiplash as a villain wasn't very good. It seemed like it was just like a transitional movie where they were using it to set up other films. Did everybody else kind of feel that way about Iron Man 2?
No,
I liked it. No, I liked it.
too.
War Machine was awesome.
Absolutely.
War Machine was good. You know, Tony was Tony. The fucking villain was awful.
But the thing is, it's like Iron Man outside of the Mandarin doesn't have any really good true villains. Everybody's usually a businessman or an industrialist or something else.
Come on, Whiplash was. They did him so what? He was horrible. It was terrible.
You gotta blame Mickey Rourke then. That wasn't him taking a bad.
Hey man, I want my bird. Hey man, I want my bird. No. My bird. Man. Hey man.
Okay, you're like, bro, if you don't take this damn bird, man.
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing. You can sum that up to bad casting then. That was one of their only bad casting errors.
No, granted, it was bad writing. It was awful. Like the way his character was written was awful.
See,
his character was written fine. They just needed a better actor to play the part.
See, I'm gonna have to agree with Meow in with the writing part for him. I wouldn't say that he was like horrible. Like I just think because of how they set his character up, it was disappointing how one-dimensional he wound up being. Because they set up something really good to where it's like, okay, Howard Stark was partners with his father, and then he supposedly got kicked off of the project, and then you know, apparently rumors that the Stark family stole his idea, or whatever the case may be. Now that's a good starting point, but it's just the fact that I guess afterwards it just hurt because he became more one-dimensional, which is just like,
yo. And I kept saying, I was like, you know, all throughout the movie, I know, you know, Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard as Rhodey, but man. Can you imagine if he was Rowdy?
I couldn't be.
He was Rowdy, man.
I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Come on, man.
They made a good call there. I love.
I don't know, man.
Nah, man.
No, man.
I mean, but you gotta. Here's the issue with that. I mean, just straight up, like Terrence Howard, you know, great actor, you know, does his thing. That's fine. Problem is, yeah, it's like you got to realize this movie isn't about you. You got paid the most because Robert Downey Jr. wasn't at the top of his game.
Right.
Iron Man put him back on the top of his games, and he's still the lead character.
Yes.
So what makes you think you're going to get paid more than him in the sequel? Like you just got paid more than him because you just came off of Hustle and Flow. But to think that you're going to get paid even more after the first movie was a runaway success, it's like, dude, no, like, real, no.
He should have been like, bruh. That's all he had to say. Just look at him, bruh.
Tony Minter, Tony Young, and Anthony Minter going ham in the chats, man, with these mains. Like, I'm going to bust his bucker, man.
That would never die down, for real.
No, it's hilarious, man. It's great.
Hey,
but no,
hey, LGZ is in here. Hey, L.
Awesome, hey, awesome. But you know, no, I mean, Iron Man 2 has some really fantastic parts. I mean, War Machine was great, but to me, Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer was just, he was fantastic. I loved Justin Hammer. And Justin Hammer, like GQ said, was one of those industrialist types. He was a rival to Stark Industries, you know, in the weapons business. And you know, in the comics, he was just an old dude that, you know, that basically just coveted the success that Stark International had. But you know, Sam Rockwell, he made Justin Hammer so much better to me.
He did.
And my thing is also, I like the fact they brought in Justin Hammer. They didn't have to bring in Justin Hammer, but they had to bring in something to counterpart Tony and being the weaponeer, basically. So
we in the kill box, man.
You said the kill box. Stop it. Chill.
I'm just repeating what
we can't let it go, man. It's too good. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's hard to let.
Yo, GQ just had a real good one. This the kill box, Tony. This is where you go to die, man. I didn't know you had it in you, bro.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have to troll all the Terrence Howard movies I can find now.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Do it. Yes. Do it.
A main collection, just like
Main.
even if he doesn't say main in it, you should just stick it in there. Pull it from Hustle and Flow. Just whatever he's in, it just in the sentence.
Oh,
No,
man.
Hustle and Flow is the easiest one to pull because that's where it came from. But I need to go back to even what Big Mama's house when he was in that movie.
No, you got.
Was he really?
I'm pretty sure he said it in there.
Yo, wait. Was he really in Big Mama's house? Was he really?
Yeah, he was the villain.
Oh hell no!
Remember, he
Hell
was
no.
the antagonist in that one.
Yo! Oh my god! Now I gotta watch that movie again. Oh man!
Pull the main,
man.
freaking Hustle and Flow, and just stick it in like clips of Iron Man.
All right, but yeah, but remember we was talking about Justin Hammer, right? But
Yeah.
actually, Fallen Marvel pointed this out to me, and I can never unsee this shit. In that first scene after Whiplash got busted out of jail, did you see this fool's hands after he was dog? It was like pale white on top. It was spray tan on the bottom. I was like, what? What is this? His hands was so freaking dirty.
He was getting his Donald Trump on, man.
I guess.
After I saw that, because I think we was watching it. Your boy Primo had brought it up when we was watching.
Yeah, Preem brought it up, dog. I was like, what?
It's just like after seeing it, I'm like, dude, like, nah, I can never unsee this.
I can't unsee that, man. And it wasn't just him; it was Whiplash too, dog. What did Preem call? What did Supreme call? Whiplash? He said, You saw him some kind of heroin addict as an engineer, or some shit. Heroin addict hands, and his fingernails is all dirty as hell. Oh man, it was just bad. If you're a manicurist, this movie was so bad on so many levels. So bad. So many levels.
That was hilarious.
It was.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it until I saw it. I was like, oh my god, it was so bad, so bad. But hey, the other person that made her MCU debut was Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Now, I ain't gonna front. She did everything she needed to do in that movie for me.
She had the accent for a minute, then lost it in the rest of the movies, huh?
When? I never heard it. Not once.
You sure about that? I could have swore in Iron Man 2 when they was in the boxing ring, she was talking a different accent. Then next thing she loses it.
No.
Nope.
You sure about that?
Nope. Natalie Rushman had no accent. Go ahead.
No, she really doesn't. And for what other thing? Well, I don't know why Waffles is so stuck on her having an accent. She's a spy.
Right.
Like, let's just be real. Like, if you're a Russian spy, the first thing you learn if you're going to be a spy in America is to speak English with a zero accent. Because you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. It's like,
right.
Why would anybody expect Black Widow, I don't care if she was Russian or is Russian or whatever, to still have a thick Russian accent when she's A, been in America all this time, and B, she's still a spy. She's supposed to
not only that. Listen, Linda. Listen. She's in comic books, bro. She's in comic books, okay? She's in comic books. So everybody who's reading it is just imagining her having a Russian accent. How the hell you know what kind of accent she got?
Because she's a spy.
She's a book.
But you have to think about it this way, and like the only thing I could really reference it to was that movie Salt, because it also did that same thing with her character. Because I believe like their characters were originally Russian, but they were trained to be spies, and like they had to get get that accent beat out of them.
Yep.
You know, so
beat it out of them. They ain't got no accent.
Well, watch the Americans. That show, they show it really, really well that if you're gonna be a spy in America, you need to be an American.
Well, I'll tell you what. She learned how to speak American so good she forgot how to speak Russian, because she certainly lost that shit and never got it back. Never. But you know what? Honestly,
we heard her speak it in Avengers. We heard her speak it.
Okay,
that junk was so that.
That's because she was in Russia.
But it wasn't even very good. It wasn't even very good. But
maybe I'll think about Avengers. That's probably what I was thinking about.
But I don't understand. Like, how? At what point would she need to speak Russian? Ever?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
So I don't understand this whole argument.
Like, I've never like argued that like it had to be like, oh, with her accent. Like, I've never like been one of those people that argued for it. I mean, I just figure like if it's my
too much Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's what it is.
I never liked that show.
Yeah,
I never liked that.
Right.
Show,
You know where they get that imagination from? That if you ever watch the
Lucid Square.
What's the name of those brothers? Oh, God darn, it's on freaking Adult
Venture
Swim.
Brothers.
The Venture Brothers. That's where, because there's a Natasha-like character in there with the eye patch and everything. That's your Russian accent,
and a really exaggerated Russian accent. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, you know.
Or in Archer. Yeah, a lot of people watch Archer too. You have that.
All right. So, what were some of like the other really cool things that you remember about Iron Man 2? For me, I know for Super Nerd, it was seeing the Silver Centurion, the briefcase mech that he had, or a suit that he brought out. For me, this was the last movie where they did the whole 3D. Well, actually, no, they did in Iron Man 3 too. But him putting together stuff with Jarvis. In the whole 3D rendering, I've always loved that stuff about Iron Man, and I miss it. They don't do it now that he's in the Avengers movies, and I miss that a lot because that was some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that was the first time we seen that, wasn't it?
No, Iron Man 1 was the first time we saw it.
No, I'm saying in general, and the first time we seen him do that.
Yeah, that was Yeah, it was.
Come on, sport.
Pay attention. Wow, really? Watch your mouth, son. Watch your mouth. So, all right, guys. So, what was some of your favorite stuff from Iron Man 2 that you guys remember?
For me, it had to be basically the fight in the garden with Tony and War Machine fighting together for the first time. Like overall, like I mean, it had like a lot of cool parts in the movie in addition to the suitcase scene, of course, but it was something about them teaming up together, whatever, in that garden. Like, to me, that wound up like sealing the deal for me.
Okay.
I really love seeing the War Machine come on the scene, and it was fighting those other those drones or whatever. And just seeing War Machine pull out all his art, like weaponry, was dope to me because we always seen it in the books, we seen it in the cartoons, but
wait a minute. All the weaponry was dope, even the ex-wife.
Well, yeah, whatever. Wait,
I'm gonna bust his bunker with the ex-wife. Wow.
Yeah, it sucked. I know it sucked. Whatever. Justin Hammer, he screwed him over.
Okay.
But
right.
But regardless, man, it's War Machine. Get your shit together, man. War Machine's that guy.
Right. GQ, what was yours?
Oh hey.
It's the same thing, and the reason I like that scene so much, it was storyboarded and kind of conceptualized by Gendy Tartakovsky, the same guy that did Samurai Jack and all those
Powerpuff Girls
films. That's why that sequence was so visceral and like basically instead of blood spray, it was obviously oil, or whatever, because that's what that one scene when a War Machine shoots that one up and you get the oil spray on him. It was just really well done. Like the entire way that was just built up was like really cool. And then, like I said, I like the ingenuity they showed with like the Super Nerd said the Silver Centurion suit with the briefcase. I mean, it was like the fact that they even put that in there was like, oh, okay, yeah, we want to throw that nod in for anybody that was paying attention or knew of the fact that Tony used to keep his entire Iron Man suit in a suitcase. So. I mean, it was just cool for them to do stuff like that. And it just goes to show that if you pay attention to your fans and your audience and know your audience, and you can throw the nods in there and not try to beat people over the head with it, just throw it in there. Some people will get it and they'll think it's cool because they know where it comes from. Some people will just think it's something that looks really cool, but at least it still fits within the narrative and it's not just sticking out like a sore thumb. So I think that's one thing that they've been doing really well with a lot of these films. It's like, they'll have those little nods and Easter eggs here and there, and they'll just keep on pushing. And this one did really well with, even with, trying to address the demon in the bottle, because they were never going to do that story. It was never something that was going to hit the screen, but at least they showed that, yes, we know of this story. Here's as far as we're going to take it. and we're moving on beyond that. It's like, here it is.
Right.
This is what you get. This is all you're going to get. We're going to use post-traumatic stress in Iron Man 3, and that'll be Tony's, real rock bottom. But we're not, it's like, look, at the end of the day, it's still a Disney film, and we're not going to, sit here and throw, heavy alcoholism into a film that's a, PG-13 popcorn movie, because that would just be dumb. That's a true sign of not knowing what your audience is supposed to be, because that's what DC did with a lot of their earlier movies. They're like, oh, we're going to make it dark. And it's like, it's freaking Superman. Why is he brooding harder than Batman does? So, I mean, again, yes, it's a knock at DC, and I don't care, but it's like,
there he goes, taking that horse back to the Boo Factory again.
Right. It's like, but the thing is, it's like, but the thing is, though, that's the simplest thing. If you know your audience and you do a good job with it, you reap the rewards, because they've been reaping the rewards for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So sorry, I mean, that's just the truth.
Miao-Yen, what was yours, real quick?
So really quickly, it probably has kind of less to do with the comic book side and more to do with the fact that the United States Air Force was represented very well in that film, and go Air Force, aim high. Yes, I love that Rhodes was represented well in that, and War Machine and Don Cheadle. Hooray. I kept it very short.
Don Cheadle was a thief. He stole the goddamn armor. Took it. Just took it.
I think he's a better.
Says, you know what? You don't deserve this.
I think he's
You
a
made
better.
it.
He's a better roadie, Mark, for you.
Yeah. So we got a couple of comments.
Man.
So we got a couple of comments in the chat. Tony Young says his favorite was the first quote unquote mention of Wakanda in the MCU by being on that map in Nick Fury's little safe house there. We also had Maurice Baker saying that the fight with Drunk Tony and any scene with Happy, he really loved Happy Hogan in this. Happy actually overall, I mean, has been like kind of a really, really great character in the MCU in general. We've only seen him in 4 movies, I think. Iron Man 1 through 3, and then Spider-Man: Homecoming as well. But he's Favreau's done a great job with that. Tony A. Mentor says any scene with Sam Rockwell dancing, like he was getting it at the Stark Expo, dog. I ain't gonna front. He was getting it.
Yeah,
he was getting it. He was getting it, man. So I'll give him that. Anthony Mentor referenced and how do people feel about this? The retroactive putting in of Peter Parker in the film. Peter Parker kind of being saved. If you guys didn't know that, the Easter egg is that Peter Parker was the little kid that Iron Man rescued that, faced the drone down in his little Iron Man mask and held up the repulsor light to him. That was supposed to be Peter Parker, they're saying.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it could be it was a last minute thing they added in there, whatever. They showed the kid. I remember the kid. It makes sense. Why not put it in there? Just have fun.
Yeah, it makes sense. And chronologically, it matches up the time frame with Homecoming. So
right, I wouldn't be pissed off about it. Put it that way.
I'm definitely fine with it, and it's kind of funny because I think about it now. I wonder if they are going to maybe play with something about his parents, and they'll do that old story where he finds out his parents were SHIELD agents.
Doubt it.
I doubt they'll do it, but I think it'd be a cool thing for them to do, because I mean, I get it, Peter essentially is kind of a Tony Stark Iron Man fanboy. I get it. So it just makes me wonder if hey, because usually people who go there go to those things usually have to, because I don't doubt that was a free thing for them to go to, was it? The whole Stark Expo thing?
No,
don't you have to be invited to those?
No, the Stark Expo is supposed to be the World's Fair that they used to have back in Queens. This is a free. It's just this is there for people to go. And,
I got you. But all right, but either way it go, I think it's fine, because again, the timeline it matches up. It matches up with his age, so I don't have no issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. So, you know, we had a really good time talking about all these topics today. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all did too. If you did, go ahead and watch the replay over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/culturejunkies. It'll be up there probably in the next, I want to say, hour or so. But in lieu of that, if you really did enjoy the show, make sure you share this broadcast with all of your friends and tell them about us, and make sure they come back next week. We'll be back here 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday without fail. Check our Twitter feed and our Facebook channel right here for updates on what we're going to be talking about. So, guys, what are you guys going to be doing next this weekend? You going to be going to see any movies? Playing any games, Dido? I know you're gonna be buying some, right?
Yeah,
football?
I ain't buying nothing.
Yes, you
I'm gonna play the stuff I got. I'm an old ass man right now. I'm gonna play.
Look at this guy.
What the hell?
You keep your damn young ass kids out there, your Dragon Ball fighters and your Street fighters. Keep that. I'm gonna play my old ass stuff.
You stupid right now.
You like that cranky old ass gamer.
Give me my 2600 so I can play me some Pac-Man and some asteroids.
Oh,
that's all I need right
now. Oh, God. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, man. I don't even know what to come up with after that. Oh, my God.
Oh, God. That's hilarious.
That was funny.
As far as me, I'm gonna try to catch up on a game or two. I did get a chance to look at the Dissidia beta over the weekend. I'm looking forward to getting that. Other than that, I'm trying to pretty much organize the rest of my comic books and put those away. So
yeah, man. You know, we only got what? We got a short 4 weeks until Black Panther comes out. Look forward to it. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. See you guys later. Peace out.
Hey, peace out.
Bye-bye.
Hey, whoa. As they say in Canada, peace out.
Is that really what they say?
It was Rick and Morty.
No one
Rick
says
and
that.
Morty.
Good night.
Really?
It was Rick and Morty. Where's my Rick and Morty face?